Good morning and happy Tuesday to you. Hope everybody's having a great start to the fall as we go into September 2024. As we look at the details of what the market is doing this month, I want to start off with just a quick tip for you sellers out there. As you consider selling your home this fall, the main question I hear from folks is just how much can they get for their house? What is the highest possible dollar amount? It's a great question and a valid one. What I would encourage you to do, though, is make sure you listen to the comps that your agent is presenting you. A lot of folks that I talk to, they tell me, well, hey, my neighbor's cousin's brother just sold their house for $1 million. Mine must be worth 1 million too. While that may or may not be true, really you need to look at the comparable properties in your neighborhood, your zip code, things that are of a similar age to your home, style, quality, all these things. So make sure and listen to your licensed, informed, in the know professional, not necessarily what Bubba sold his house for. Okay. Just a little word to the wise there. With that, we're going to look at what the market is doing here in the greater Asheville area and the mountains in general. Thing that's driving prices, thing that's driving everything else. It is inventory, right? And so what we've looked at over the past year is rising levels of inventory. So you look at January 2023, from there until now, over that, 18, 19-month period, we've had increased inventory levels. We're still at more or less a seller's market here in the mountains. If you look at these inventory levels, anything under three, seller's market, really three or under seller's market. And across the region, we're at a 2.6 to a 3.8. So what that means is, generally speaking, it's better to be a seller than a buyer right now, but inventory levels are rising a little bit. You see new neighborhoods going up everywhere you turn, mostly DR Horton and whatnot. Um, from inventory, what we're looking at then is days on market, right? So the more your inventory goes up, the longer homes may or may not sit on the market, generally speaking. Right now, we're looking at a pretty stable market in terms of days on market. You look at the past several months, the trend is pretty much flat. So what you're looking at in Buncombe and Henderson County is your average single family home is taking between 38 and 39 days to go under contract. So a month, let's call it, more or less. There's exceptions to that, but in general, that's what you're looking at. In your further stretches of the mountains there in Transylvania County and in Haywood County, you're looking at more like a month and a half, at 44 to 46 days on average from the time you put a sign in the yard and start showing the houses to the time it goes under contract. Okay. Next thing we're looking at is percent of original price. That's how much negotiations going on. This is where I love to get my hands dirty, is with negotiations. And what you're looking at, again, kind of as those inventory levels have gone up, your negotiating power as a seller has gone down, and your negotiating power as a buyer has really gone up. You look at this time, kind of the first of the year 2023, things were going pretty much for full price. Now what you're looking at is somewhere between, 3, 4, 5% of the purchase price getting negotiated off that purchase price. So in Buncombe and Henderson County, let's round that off at around 96% sale to list ratio. So houses listed for 500, you're probably getting it in the 480s somewhere. And then Transylvania and Haywood, you're looking at about a 5 to 6% discount from your average list price. So that same $500,000 house in Brevard or Canton or something like that might go for more like 475, more or less. That gets us to sales prices. What's going on with prices? They are remaining pretty much flat line. If you look at appreciation tables, really for the past year and a half, it's more or less a flat line, which is we're returning to more of a normalcy. We've kind of got spoiled over the last 4 or 5 years of things being worth 10, 20, 30% more year over year. Now we're looking at more, traditional appreciation. So your typical Asheville or Buncombe County house is $655,000. Your typical Henderson County house, $541,000. Your typical Transylvania County house at $650,000, and your typical Haywood County house at $439,000. So, and those numbers are fairly, flatline from last month. So, if you're thinking about buying or selling and interpreting this data to your situation over the fall, give me a shout. And until then, go make it a great day.